Here it is. Okay. So guys, as I said before, we're going to start by doing some exercises on the book on lesson number 6, and then we're going to cover lesson number 7, and we're going to be working with present perfect simple versus present perfect continuous, like when to use these two tenses that are pretty much similar. And the second grammar topic is going to be like abilities, like those phrases or those words that we can use for abilities, different from can. You know that we can have can and could, present and past abilities, but we can also have, so many others that I'm going to show you today. So that's going to be today's class. So let's get started, guys. Here we're going to start this with a listening exercise, and actually we have this exercise right here, right? So last time, lecture number 6, we went through, we spoke about conditionals, right? We got conditionals type 0, 1, 2, and 3. We spoke about them and we divided them in two, where 0 and 1 were used, they were used to talk about like reality, and conditional types 2 and 3, they were used to talk about imaginations or hypothetical situations. So this is it. And well, right now you're going to have this listening. As you can see, you're going to listen and complete the conversation. We have actually 3 pieces of conversation, and you are just going to complete complete the blanks, so fill in the blanks by listening to the audio. So first, I'm going to play the audio, and you're going to tell me whether you can hear it or not, if you can listen to it or not, all right? So let's get started then. Now, let me see. Here. Tell me if you can listen to it, please. Why is it
Unit
so long?
6, recording S6.3.
Can you listen to it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So again, we have 3 pieces of conversation. You just need to complete each of the blanks that you can see right here in these 3 pieces of conversation. All right? So let's
Unit
play the
6,
listening.
recording S6.3. 1,
What would you do if your laptop exploded?
If my laptop exploded, I'd call for help.
2,
What would you do if you lost your house keys?
If I lost my house keys, I'd climb through the window.
3,
How would you feel if your car broke down?
If my car broke down, I wouldn't be happy.
All right, guys. I don't think it is necessary to repeat it one more time, but do I have to repeat it, or we can go straight to the answers? I think we can go straight. So, do I repeat it or not?
Teacher, yes, one more time. I can't listen.
All right. Let's play one more time.
Unit 6, recording S6.3. 1,
What would you do if your laptop exploded?
If my laptop exploded, I'd call for help.
2,
What would you do if you lost your house keys?
If I lost my house keys, I'd climb through the window.
3,
How would you feel if your car broke down?
If my car broke down, I wouldn't be happy.
All right. So, how about the first one, guys? Number 1.
I want to answer, Mr.
All right, go ahead, miss.
What would you do if your laptop exploded?
Exploded.
Exploded.
All right, what would you do if your laptop exploded? Good. How about number 2?
Me,
Go ahead, Valeria.
if I lost my house keys, I climb through to the window.
I climb through the window. All right, but this has the contraction, right? I. I'd climb. I mean, I would climb.
Okay.
Right? I would climb is contracted. Good. And how would you feel? I mean, sorry, number 3. I was going to read it. Number 3. Okay, Miss, go ahead.
How would you feel if your car broke down? If my car broke down, I wouldn't be happy.
All right, great. I wouldn't be happy. That's great. That's excellent. So these are the answers. Take a look. Would you do? I, right, with the contraction, and wouldn't be. So all of you guys, we're fine. We're good. Now let's keep on moving, and this time you're going to go right over this. So complete the sentences. Same page, but exercise 6. Complete the sentences with the correct form of the verb in the box. Now we got some verbs right here, so some words down here, and you just need to, again, complete the sentences by filling in the blanks. So the first one is already done. It says, I would write my autobiography if I didn't have so much work to do. Now, number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is your job. Yes, miss?
I want to do the second one.
All right, go ahead, miss. Number 2.
What would you do if you saw a UFO?
All right, what would you do if you saw a UFO? Good, Miss Nayelis. Now, Miss, you know what, and everybody, do you know what this means?
Yes.
What is the meaning of UFO?
OVNI.
All right, that's an OVNI, or in other words, an unidentified, I'm sorry, I just got, my tongue got twisted. All right, unidentified flying object. So in other words, an OVNI, as Miss Nayeli said. All right, number 3.
Mister, I want.
Go ahead, Miss.
What would do if you saw? I know, sorry.
Number 3.
Yes, if I could go anywhere in the world, I would go to the Caribbean.
To the Caribbean. Good, great. Number 4. Yeah. Number 4.
If I didn't rain so much, I would like to live in Norway.
All right, if it didn't rain, not if I, right? If it didn't rain so much, I would like to live in Norway. Good. Now, number 5.
You wouldn't be very happy if you failed your test.
All right, great. Number 6. You can tell me number 6.
If you saw a friend shoplifting, would you tell the police?
If you saw friends, okay, shoplifting, would you tell the police? All right, great, great. I mean, all answers you gave me were great. Now let's see what are the answers. Right, here they are. So all of them were right. So very good, guys. We're good. Okay, so this was like the first practice we have for here. And now let's get to unit number 7. Now, as I said before, in unit number 7, we are going to cover like 2 things. We're going to cover, two grammar topics. Actually, yeah, 2 grammar topics. Differences or diverses between past perfect simple and past perfect continuous, and the words that express ability, right? So this is what we are going to do today. Now, this is page number 80. So you can, if you have your books, you can open the map and go to that page, please. Now, as you can see right here in the first part, we have 3 questions in the first exercise. It says, write the names of 3 people of 3 very successful people and answer the questions. I want you to do this, but not now. Take a look at the 3 different questions that we have. I am going to ask you those questions, but you are going to answer them at the end of the class. So take a look. How and why did these people become successful? Do you think they have a special talent or they have just been lucky? What advice would you give to someone who wants to be as successful as these people? Now take a look at the pictures just down here, and we got like several people. We have this group of people. We got this man, this woman, these 2 people here. I mean, these 2 men here. And here we have a woman and an old man, right? These are very important people in history. So, do you know this group people? Do you know these people right here in this picture? All right, who are they?
The Beatles.
The Beatles, right? Now take a look. If they are the Beatles, now that you know that they are the Beatles, so how and why did they become successful? So that's the question I want you to answer, right? Or do you think that the Beatles have any special talent, or they were just lucky? And number 3, would you give an advice to someone if they want to be successful as the Beatles? Well, this is what you're going to do. But again, you're not going to do it right now. At the end, you're going to answer these questions, all right? But again, take a look. It's not going to be about the Beatles itself. You can choose the person you would like to speak about, all right? Take a look. Write the name of 3 people very successful. So the 3 very successful people. You are just going to choose one person, not 3 of them. You're just going to choose one person, the one you like, right? Very successful person. And then you're going to answer these 3 questions, thinking on that person, but at the end, not now. I repeat, right? Now, I would like one person to read this small test that we have right here. This is a listening exercise, but before going on the listening, we need to read the introduction. This is like an introduction to an article about success. So who wants to read this for me? Well, for everyone. Who would like to read? Who'd like to read?
Maybe.
All right, go ahead, miss.
What is the secret of success? BBC Focus magazine investigates. What makes the most successful people on the planet different from the rest of us? If we were more like Albert Einstein or John Lennon, surely we could enjoy the same level of success. In his new book, Malcolm Gladwell reveals that there is one factor so obvious that is right under our nose, that all successful people
share. All right, so this is a very small introduction on what the program is. Thank you very much, Miss Nayeli. It's very good. So this is a very small introduction on what the program is about, right? So as you can see, they are going to be speaking about successful people and how they became successful, right? So let's get to the program itself. As you can see in this exercise, we're going to have the listening. You are going to listen. You're going to listen to some. To a radio program, as you can see right here. Listen to the radio program and complete the summary. Now, do not, guys, expect the listening, the audio to be exactly the same than this small test that we have right here. No, as it says right here, this is a summary, right? A summary, which means that maybe the listening is going to be, they are going to be speaking about so many things, but only a couple of things are the ones that you are going to listen to, or you're going to be, you will need to have very, to be very focused on, so that you can put all of the words that are in this blank, that go actually in this blank, all right? So I'm going to play the audio. Just tell me whether you are ready or not. You ready? Well, I guess you were born ready. So let's get down to the listening. You already know what to do. Just fill in the blanks.
Unit 7. Success. Recording S7.1.
Hello, and welcome back to the Focus Podcast. I'm Jenny Osmond, the editor of Focus, the monthly science and technology magazine. He's the hugely influential author of Blink and The Tipping Point. His work is quoted by academics, presidents, and your buddies at work. And now Malcolm Gladwell has turned that deft mind of his to a new subject, the science of success. In his new book, Outliers, Gladwell argues that if we want to be successful, we should think less about what successful people are like and more about where they have come from and the opportunities they have had along the way. Now, Ian's read the book, and he joins me. Now, his new book is looking at success.
Yes, and what he says is that if we think about somebody like Bill Gates, a hugely successful person, and we want to learn from his achievements, then what do we look at? We look at what that man is like, what drives him. What does he do on a day-to-day basis? How can we be more like him? But what Gladwell argues in the new book is that we should pay less attention to that side of things and look at where Bill Gates came from. So how did he get to where he got to? The opportunities he had along the way. And what he says is that Bill Gates has one thing in common with another group of very successful people, the Beatles.
So, what's that?
Well, they both practiced what they do, and they practiced a lot.
Right. So, how much is a lot?
A lot is 10,000 hours. That's like the magic number if you're going to become world-class at anything in the world. You need to put 10,000 hours practice in.
Oh, okay.
So the Beatles, they were doing gigs, like all-night gigs in Hamburg, in these little clubs, and just the number of hours that they put in on the stage allowed them to master their craft.
I think the 10,000 hours magic number is really interesting because, as you know, I used to play tennis professionally, and I hit a load of tennis balls when I was younger. And I'm sure I must have done 10,000 hours worth, I must have done 4 hours a day and stuff. And I remember speaking to Martina Hingis' mom about why she thought her kid was so good, such a prodigy. She basically said, "My daughter has been hitting tennis balls since the age of 3, and she has hit X number of tennis balls for X number of hours, and it's, I'm sure she's..." So once you're over that magic number of 10,000, yeah.
The same goes for people like Beethoven. It's incredible how...
But at the end of the day, you have to have talent.
You have to have raw talent. You have to have belief in what you can do. And you have to have the will to put those hours in. But you also need the opportunity.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you need me to repeat the listening one more time, guys? Or we can go straight for the to the answers.
Repeat, please.
Okay, let's repeat it one more time. There you go.
Unit 7. Success. Recording S7.1.
Hello, and welcome back to the Focus Podcast. I'm Jenny Osmond, the editor of Focus, the monthly science and technology magazine. He's the hugely influential author of Blink and The Tipping Point. His work is quoted by academics, presidents, and your buddies at work. And now Malcolm Gladwell has turned that deft mind of his to a new subject, the science of success. In his new book, Outliers, Gladwell argues that if we want to be successful, we should think less about what successful people are like and more about where they have come from and the opportunities they have had along the way. Now, Ian's read the book, and he joins me. Now, his new book is looking at success.
Yes, and what he says is that if we think about somebody like Bill Gates, a hugely successful person, and we want to learn from his achievements, then what do we look at? We look at what that man is like, what drives him. What does he do on a day-to-day basis? How can we be more like him? But what Gladwell argues in the new book is that we should pay less attention to that side of things and look at where Bill Gates came from. So how did he get to where he got to? The opportunities he had along the way. And what he says is that Bill Gates has one thing in common with another group of very successful people, the Beatles.
So, what's that?
Well, they both practiced what they do, and they practiced a lot.
Right. So, how much is a lot?
A lot is 10,000 hours. That's like the magic number if you're going to become world-class at anything in the world. You need to put 10,000 hours practice in.
Oh, okay.
So the Beatles, they were doing gigs, like all-night gigs in Hamburg, in these little clubs, and just the number of hours that they put in on the stage allowed them to master their craft.
I think the 10,000 hours magic number is really interesting because, as you know, I used to play tennis professionally, and I hit a load of tennis balls when I was younger. And I'm sure I must have done 10,000 hours worth, I must have done 4 hours a day and stuff. And I remember speaking to Martina Hingis' mom about why she thought her kid was so good, such a prodigy. She basically said, "My daughter has been hitting tennis balls since the age of 3, and she has hit X number of tennis balls for X number of hours, and it's, I'm sure she's..." So once you're over that magic number of 10,000, yeah.
The same goes for people like Beethoven. It's incredible how...
But at the end of the day, you have to have talent.
You have to have raw talent. You have to have belief in what you can do. And you have to have the will to put those hours in. But you also need the opportunity.
Uh-huh.
All right, so that was it. Now let's get straight to the answers, right? I am going to read, and then you're going to tell me, all right, you're going to tell me what are the words that are left. All right, so there you go. In this new book, Outliers, Gladwell argues that Beethoven and the Beatles and Bill Gates all have one thing in common. All right, in common. They
practice.
All right, but in past. They practiced what they do, and they practice a lot. In fact, Gladwell discovered that in order to be truly
world class,
all right, in anything, it is necessary to practice more for more than
10,000 hours.
All right, 10,000 hours. Yeah, 10,000 hours. These people have done that, which is why he believed that they have been so what? Successful. All right, great. Take a look. These are the answers that you were saying. Common, practice, world class, 10,000, and successful. Great, very good. Now let's continue. Here we have like 3 different statements. Take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to play this very same listening one more time, but this time you're going to concentrate on either writing true or false to each of these statements right here. So let's get back to it one more time. There you go. True or false?
Unit 7. Success. Recording S7.1.
Hello, and welcome back to the Focus Podcast. I'm Jenny Osmond, the editor of Focus, the monthly science and technology magazine. He's the hugely influential author of Blink and The Tipping Point. His work is quoted by academics, presidents, and your buddies at work. And now Malcolm Gladwell has turned that deft mind of his to a new subject, the science of success. In his new book, Outliers, Gladwell argues that if we want to be successful, we should think less about what successful people are like and more about where they have come from and the opportunities they have had along the way. Now, Ian's read the book, and he joins me. Now, his new book is looking at success.
Yes, and what he says is that if we think about somebody like Bill Gates, a hugely successful person, and we want to learn from his achievements, then what do we look at? We look at what that man is like, what drives him. What does he do on a day-to-day basis? How can we be more like him? But what Gladwell argues in the new book is that we should pay less attention to that side of things and look at where Bill Gates came from. So how did he get to where he got to? The opportunities he had along the way. And what he says is that Bill Gates has one thing in common with another group of very successful people, the Beatles.
So, what's that?
Well, they both practiced what they do, and they practiced a lot.
Right. So, how much is a lot?
A lot is 10,000 hours. That's like the magic number if you're going to become world class at anything in the world. You need to put 10,000 hours practice in.
Oh, okay.
So the Beatles, they were doing gigs, like all-night gigs in Hamburg, in these little clubs, and just the number of hours that they put in on the stage allowed them to master their craft.
I think the 10,000 hours magic number is really interesting because, as you know, I used to play tennis professionally, and I hit a load of tennis balls when I was younger. And I'm sure I must have done 10,000 hours worth, I must have done 4 hours a day and stuff. And I remember speaking to Martina Hingis' mom about why she thought her kid was so good, such a prodigy. She basically said, "My daughter has been hitting tennis balls since the age of 3, and she has hit X number of tennis balls for X number of hours, and it's, I'm sure she's..." So once you're over that magic number of 10,000, yeah.
The same goes for people like Beethoven. It's incredible how...
But at the end of the day, you have to have talent.
You have to have raw talent. You have to have belief in what you can do. And you have to have the will to put those hours in. But you also need the opportunity.
Uh-huh.
All right, guys. So let's go with the first one. I read and you tell me whether it's true or false. So if we want to learn from Bill Gates' achievements, we need to look at where he came from and the opportunities he had. Is that true or false? True. All right, great. 2, if you're going to be world class at something, you need to have parents who are high achievers.
False.
False.
Okay. The Beatles played all-night concerts in Hamburg, and this helped them to master their craft.
True. True.
All right. To become a successful tennis player, you need a very talented teacher, enough money to pay for your lessons.
False.
All right, false. So this is it. Yeah, you got true, false, true, and false. Very good, guys. So far, so good. Now, let's move on to the next exercise. Now, here we're going to have some some vocabulary to speak about success. All right. So these are the words that we have for or the expressions that we have, right? The phrases. Now we have work hard, which is, like trabajar duro, fuerte. Here we have be a high achiever. Be a high achiever.
I'm sure she will believe in yourself.
Which one?
No, silencio. I'm sure she will believe in yourself.
No, we already used this one. You used it here. If you believe in yourself and your abilities, right? So this is number 6. This is different. It's not that one, miss. It's another one. So I'm sure she will
Be a high achiever.
All right, achiever. Great. I'm sure she will be a high achiever. She's determined to do well at everything. Good, Mr. Gillis. Number 7. When I really want something,
I
miss,
try to focus on my goal.
focus on my goal. Great. And 8. She'll beat all women in the world this year. She's
World class.
World class.
All right, see, she is a world-class gymnast. All right, great. That was good. Now, anyways, let's just check the answers. So these are the answers. Work hard, have a natural talent for, believe in yourself, have the opportunity, master, be a high achiever, focus, and work class. So all the answers you gave were great, were excellent. So very good people here. Very good. All right, so let's move to the next page. Where is my book? Let me get my book right over here. Oops, here. Okay, so guys, this is it, and this is going to be our first grammar topic for today. So this is the one. Let me try to zoom it in. All right, this is it. Take a look. Present perfect versus present perfect continuous. Well, in lesson number 2, we already spoke about present perfect, but we haven't spoken about present perfect continuous so far, right? We haven't spoken about it. But today we're going to speak about that, and also we're going to see the differences in, I mean, like when to use one and when to use the other. Like which is the difference, or what is the difference between those two tenses right there? Present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. So let's get to the, no, this is not the PowerPoint presentation. Please let me know if you can see the PowerPoint presentation. Can you see it now?
Yes, mister.
Okay, right. So as you can see here, it says perfect, I mean, present perfect and present perfect continuous or progressive. Remember that continuous and progressive, I mean, they mean the same, right? So take a look. Here we have a picture. In the picture, we have a dragon, right? And we also have a question down here that says, have you ever seen a dragon parade? Now, this is a question for you guys. Have you ever seen a dragon parade? Yes. I mean,
No, never.
you haven't, right? Especially because we are in Colombia, and the reason why we don't have, I mean, and that is the main reason why we have never seen a dragon parade, because here we don't have this kind of parades, right? We have different types, but not this. But anyways, let's get down to the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous. Well, before starting with this, I'm going to ask you, well, I'm going to ask one of you, the one that wants to do it, please read these for everyone. And the rest of you guys, I want you to listen carefully to the person that is going to read, and also please try to analyze all the uses of the present perfect and present perfect continuous that we have right here, like to see if you can like maybe see a difference between them. All right, who would like to?
Teacher, me.
All right,
I want.
mister.
Okay.
Start.
The Chinese has been celebrating the New Year for 5,000 years. The New Year tradition have included settings of thousands of firecrackers and painting parts of houses bright red. Also, grown-ups have traditionally given red envelopes of money to children and unmarried adults for good luck. Families feast on dumpling, chicken, and fish, and watch the dragon and lion dances. In some cities in America, the dance have evolved into parades of dancing dragons and lions, surrounded by colorful flags, banners, lanterns, and drums to drive away the evil spirits. Have you ever seen a dragon parade? Over the years, I have seen several over the years in Chinatown.
In Chinatown, good.
Chinatown, yes.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, so thank you very much. It was very good. Now, the rest of you, as you can see, we have some words that are in red. Those are the different tenses. Here we are, here we have present perfect continuous, present perfect, perfect, and perfect, right? But simple. Now, why are we using present perfect here, and why are we using present perfect continuous here and present perfect simple in the rest of it? So that's the question that we have, right? And we just want to try to see like which is the difference between they both. But can you see now, just like by what Mr. Sebastian read, can you see any difference here? Like if I ask you guys, what is the difference between present perfect continuous and present perfect simple? Like, would you be able to give it to me? Would you be able to give it to me, guys? Yes or no? Well, like we're going to analyze and we're going to see why we're using, I mean, like in one part we use present perfect continuous and the other part we use present perfect simple, right? So let's get to it so we can see the real explanation. So let's begin now with the normal present perfect, like the one you already know. So remember that we use the present perfect to speak about a situation that is started or began in the past and continue up to the present, right? Or as it says here, continue up until now, right? So take a look. These traditions have continued for 5,000 years. So the traditions started 5,000 years in the past, and today they still have this tradition, right? So take a look. The action started in the past, 5,000 years in the past, and now today in the present, the action still happens, right? So this is the normal present perfect that you know how to use. Now, let's give you another example. Here, grown-ups have always given red envelopes of money to children. Now, what does it say here? Again, the action started in the past, right? Because this is a tradition 5,000 years ago, and today, children still receive money, right? So again, this is an action that started in the past and continued up to the present, right? So again, this is it, right? So this is it. This is the present perfect. We can also use present perfect to speak about, actions or events that have or haven't happened before now. I mean, for this kind of things, we use questions and we use the word ever. That we use them to give the intention in Spanish, like alguna vez, right? And normally we use this question to ask a person whether the person has done something or haven't done something, right? So take a look. Has Julia ever seen a dragon parade? We have two possible answers here. We have yes, she has, or no, she hasn't. She has never seen one, right? So we have two possible answers right here. So take a look. Let's begin with a negative answer. It says here, no, Julia has never seen one. What does it mean, this has never seen one? It means that, let's say that the Dragon Parade started in 1990, right? And since 1990, she hasn't seen Dragon Parades, right? She didn't see them in 1990. She didn't see it in 1991. She didn't see it in 1997. She didn't see it in 1999, in 2010, 2015. And today, in 2020, she hasn't seen this either, right? So the action of not seeing something or not doing something started in the past and continued up to the present. I mean, today, right? Is that clear?
Yes, mister.
Okay, great. So let's continue. The same thing happens when we have a positive sentence. So we use present perfect to speak about or to talk about an event that has occurred repeatedly from one point in the past to one point in the present. So take a look. Have you ever seen a dragon parade? This is in the case of a positive answer. So let's say yes, right? Yes, I have. I have seen many dragon parades. Many dragon parades. Take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So why does he, or why that's, I mean, why do you see dragon parades? So in this case, you see them because you like them, for example, right? I'm just speculating a little bit, but maybe because he likes them, that's why he repeated it many times. But well, he didn't see them in 2090, in the 1990, but maybe he saw the first one, right? In the past, of course, he saw the first one in 1992, then in 1997, then in 2010, then in 2015, then in 2016, then in 2019, right? And today in 2020, he can, why not? He can see another dragon parade, right? But still the action started in some period or some point in the past, and the action was repeated many times, right? Throughout all of this time till now, till the present, right? Until the present, until now. So this is how we use the present perfect, right? The normal present perfect. I repeat, to speak about an action that is started in the past and continue up to the present, all right? So you're going to answer these questions, but you are not going to answer them now. Or now. All right, let's answer them now, right? So I want you to answer them with your normal, you know, with your real information. So people, have you ever driven a bus? Yes or no?
Yes, I have.
Have you driven a bus?
Yes.
All right, that's great. A bus, that's difficult to drive. All right, great, good. How about here? Have you ever played the baseball? I want you to give me full answers, please. Have you ever played baseball? Guys,
Yes,
have you?
I have.
Yes, I have played baseball. Try to give.
Baseball. Yes, I have played baseball.
All right, give me full answers. Good miss. Number 3, have you ever ridden a camel? Have you ever ridden a camel?
No, I haven't ridden a camel.
A camel, all right?
Camel.
All right, good. You have never done it, right? I have never done it either. Good. Number 4, have you ever broken your arm?
Yes, I have broken my arm.
Oh my God, really? I'm so sorry about it. Hope your arm is better now.
Okay.
All right. Number 5, have you ever eaten Chinese sweets? If you ask me, I have never eaten any of those. All right. Have you ever eaten, guys, Chinese sweets?
No, I haven't eaten Chinese sweets.
All right, great. Now, how about this one, number 6? Have you ever gone skydiving? You know what a skydive is, right? What is a skydiving, by the way?
Is when you jump out of a plane.
Right.
And then, yeah.
It's like jumping out of a plane. Then you just, you know, you are going straight to the ground. But before going to the ground, you just action your parachute, and then you like, this is like paracaidismo, right? So have you ever gone skydiving, guys?
No, I haven't gone skydiving.
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 All right.
Wanna prize?
I recommend you to go skydiving. You can go like Via Tubará, here close to Barranquilla. There is a place in which you can go skydiving. That's great. I recommend it to you. You should go. All right. Number 7. Have you ever won a prize?
Yes, I have. I have won a prize.
All right, take a look.
I never won a prize.
You've never won a prize, or you're gonna win a prize this time. Don't worry, you will do it. All right, take a look. As you can see here, you were giving me just normal answers using present perfect. You already know how to use them, right? actions that started in the past and continued up to the present. I mean, up until now. Now, let's continue with present perfect progressive. Now, this is new for you. And the structure itself is like the same that the present perfect, but we need to add 2 extra things. What are those things? The verb be in the past participle form and the next verb in the ing form, because it's progressive, it's continuous, right? It means that the action is on progress, it's ongoing. So there you go. Use the present perfect, or we use the present perfect to speak, present perfect progressive or continuous, to talk about the duration of an activity that began in the past and continues to the present, right? Take a look at the example. We have been this one first. We have been celebrating the Chinese New Year for a week now. What does this sentence tell you, guys? Like, what can you understand from this sentence?
Profe, que antes se celebraba y que aún se sigue celebrando, pero lo está diciendo en el momento de la celebración, ¿no?
All right, so very good. And what would happen if I do something like this? For example, we have been celebrating. Then, okay, celebrating the Chinese. I'm getting mixed up here. Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year. Ah, are you serious? For the Chinese New Year. Let's just do it like this. What does it tell you? I mean, what? All right, this is it. So we have celebrated the Chinese New Year, right? Week. Now, let me ask you again. I would like you to tell me what you can understand from the first sentence using the present perfect progressive, and what you can understand from the second sentence using the present perfect simple. All right. So here, Miss Valeria said that it's like an action that is started in the past, continues up to the present, but is still happening in the moment, right? Like right now, it's still happening in the present. So if I say, nosotros hemos estado celebrando el Año Nuevo Chino por una semana ahora, significa que en este momento, aunque el año empezó, digamos, 1 de enero, ¿cierto? Son 7 días después, decir 7 días después son hoy, y todavía estamos celebrando, right? So that's the idea of the first sentence, that the people are still celebrating the new year. But how about the second sentence? Like, what does it tell you? What can you understand in the second sentence? We have celebrated the Chinese New Year for a week. What does it tell you guys?
Teacher, I think that it's possible the action has ended in the present.
All right, so the action ended in the present, right? Great. So if you can see, they are pretty similar, right? Why are they similar? Because these are two actions that started in the past and continued up to the present. But in the present, so there in this part, in the present is where we can see the difference. In the first sentence, the action is happening in the moment, is in progress in the moment. But here, in the second sentence, the action is not happening in the moment. Probably the action just ended, just finished, and may have a possible resolution in the future. Why do I say this? Because hemos celebrado el año chino, el año nuevo chino por una semana. Probablemente ya pasó la semana, ya lo celebramos y por lo tanto ya no lo estamos celebrando en este momento. Pero posiblemente esta acción vuelva y se repita en el futuro, justo como les estaba diciendo hace un momento, que usamos esto también para hablar de acciones repetitivas, ¿cierto? Entonces,
teacher, maybe teacher,
yes.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Maybe it's the day of the celebration, but the celebration is over.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. The action started in the past and finished in the present, right? It's the present, but finished in the present. Now, we normally use present perfect simple to speak about actions that just finished. I mean, acciones que acaban de terminar. Un ejemplo, si yo les pregunto a ustedes, imagínense que nosotros empezamos la clase 1, 2 más o menos, y digamos que en este momento son las 3:42. Nosotros terminamos la clase en este mismo instante, right? Ustedes 5 minutos después se pueden decir, alguien le pregunta, ¿ya terminaste? Sí, we have already finished the class, right? Take a look, we have already finished the class. Si alguien te pregunta, ¿ya estás libre? Tú puedes decir, we have already finished. Significa, ya hemos terminado. ¿Pero por qué usan el presente perfecto y no el presente y el pasado simple? Porque están hablando acerca de una acción que acabó de finalizar. Es por eso, como le está diciendo Miss Valeria, de pronto todavía estaban hablando acerca de esto, la acción está en presente, pero ya ha acabado, right? So, this is the difference. But here, in the first one, imaginemos que empezamos la clase nuevamente 1 o 2 más o menos, y son las 3:42. Pero les pregunto, ¿hemos terminado la clase ya? Have we already finished the class? Guys, have we already finished the class?
No.
No, we haven't.
So, la acción que nosotros empezamos en el pasado, es decir, a las 2 de la tarde, ¿cierto? Ha estado sucediendo o ha sido progresiva desde ese momento, right? A las 2 de la tarde hasta ahora las 3:43. En este preciso instante, en este presente, en este momento, la acción continúa sucediendo, right? La acción aún continúa en progreso. So that's the difference. En el primero hay progresión en el momento y en el segundo, en el presente, la acción ha terminado. All right? Is that clear?
Yes.
For Valeria only or for everyone?
Everyone. Everyone.
All right, because you don't talk, right? So I'm just listening to Valeria. So I mean, or I think that Valeria is the only one that understands. All right. So this is it. That is a difference between present perfect continuous and present perfect simple, right? So I'm going to repeat one more time so it's 100% clear. In the present perfect progressive or continuous, we talk about an action that is started in the past, continued up to the present, and the action is still happening in the present, is progressive in the present, or is in progress in the present. But in the present perfect simple, we talk about an action that is started in the past, continues up to the present, but the action may be finished in the present, and maybe will have a resolution or a result in the future, right? Now, we don't know what the result is going to be, if you are going to do this action one more time or not. I mean, we don't know that because, you know, the future is completely unpredictable. Maybe you want to do something, but you're not sure whether it's going to happen or not. So, this is it. And well, let's continue then so that we can let's give you more examples. So there you go. This is what I was saying before. Take a look at the next example so that you can see also the difference. My grandmother has been decorating the house for the new year since this morning. Now let me ask you, has she finished decorating her house? Or she's
No,
still
she
decorating the
hasn't.
house?
No.
All right. She's still decorating, right?
Yes.
It means that in
Yes.
this very moment, my grandmother is still working on the house decoration, right? Yes, it's still happening. But if I say my mother has decorated the house for the new year, it means she finished or she's still decorating it.
She finished.
Finished.
All right, she is done. She is over with that, right? Yes, you are right. One more thing that you gotta guys take into account is this. For the perfect tenses, you know that we use for and since. I mean, I'm going to explain, I'm going to give you a review because I know that you know how to use for and since. But you know that we use for when we speak about the amount of time that the action takes. So we have been celebrating the Chinese New Year for a week now. I mean, that is the amount of days that they have been celebrating this, right? So all the days all together, the amount of them. Here, the quantity of them. But when we use since to speak about the starting point of the action or the situation. For example, my grandmother has been decorating the house for the new year since this morning. Am I speaking about the amount of, the amount of time that she's been decorating? No, I'm just speaking about the moment that she started the action. So we use since when we speak about the starting point of a situation, right? Don't forget this, please, because for and since are very are very common, to be honest, in the present perfect continuous. Now, we have here another thing. We normally use, to answer this question, when we have this question, we can use both present perfect and present perfect progressive. We can use both tenses, right? But we normally use present perfect progressive or continuous to answer this question. How long? ¿Cuánto tiempo? Right? Now, again, I repeat, we can use some verbs or sometimes we can use how long with the present perfect simple, but it is more common to use it with the progressive version. So let's see this example right here. Meng's grandparents have been giving him money for the New Year since he was a little boy. Now, if I want to ask the question, how would it be, guys? If I want to ask this question, taking this, I would say, answer into account, how would you create a question out of this answer? Using how long? Try to make a question.
How long?
Yes?
How long have Meg's parents been giving him money for the new year?
Great, right? For how long? Well, since he was a little boy. Very good, right? So we're speaking about time. And as we're speaking about time, we need to use present perfect continuous, right? Now, very good. We have another example. Take a look. My sister has been waiting all year to see the Dragon Parade. Is she still waiting, by the way? Is this person still waiting? Or she's not waiting anymore?
Yes.
Yes, right? Because this is progressive. The action is happening now. And can you give me the sentence, the question using this? How long with this sentence?
How long has my sister been waiting
All right,
to
great.
see
The Dragon Parade. Very good, right? How long has my sister been waiting to see the Dragon Parade? Great. So if the answer is, well, she has been waiting all year, right? She has been waiting all year. So one more time, we use how long commonly with the present perfect continuous. Is that clear, or you still need any more explanation on this topic, guys? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Now take a look here. Identify the correct form. Here we have some sentences. They are not, as you can see, we have some verbs in parentheses, and they are not like written in the present perfect progressive, or in both versions, right? So what I want you to do is like read the sentence, like we celebrate Chinese New Year all week, and you tell me which tense should be used, like present perfect progressive, or both tenses at the same time. Like both tenses could be possible. Now let's see over number one. Let's begin again. We celebrate Chinese New Year all week. Which one do you think could be with present perfect or present perfect progressive? Both. So you can say, all right, we have celebrated Chinese New Year all week, and we haven't celebrated. Yeah, well, it is both depending on the context, right? It can be both depending on the context. Good. How about number two? I see 2 dragon parades so far this week.
Present perfect.
Present perfect.
All right, present perfect. So in the first one, I said present perfect progressive. And in the second one, present perfect. But Miss, you were saying that both, and yes, both are possible, but depending on the context, right? If you can see the context or you understand the context, here we don't have a context. But if you have a context, then we might see, but both are possible, depending on what you mean. So number three, my brother eat a lot of candy during New Year's. What do you think it is?
Maybe both.
Right. Present perfect and present perfect continuous. You can use both. Why not, right? Take a look here. He
Present perfect progressive.
All right, present perfect progressive, but you can also use present perfect, the normal present perfect, right? Here is where I'm going to tell you something, and I want you to see how you can do it. Number 5.
Present perfect progressive.
Okay, that's what I wanted you to say. Here, guys, when we use some verbs like the verb be, the verb have, the verb know, the verb understand, the verb see, and some other verbs, right? Like we can call them, those are, I forgot the name itself. We can call them sentimental verbs. Why not? Like they show emotion, right? They show a sort of emotion. When we have this kind of verbs, we cannot use the progressive form. We need to use the normal form, right? The simple one, so the present perfect one. The same happens if you were speaking or if you were using a different tense. Not only with the present perfect, but also with any other tense, right? The thing is that these words or these verbs cannot be used in the progressive form. I just remembered the names. Stative verbs, right? Stative verbs. Those are the verbs that show a kind of emotion, and they cannot be used in the progressive form. So here, Miss Maria, you cannot use it because of this reason. So in this case, we just use the normal present perfect simple. Now the last one. What do you think? My mother take care of my brother today. She hasn't left his side.
Progressive.
Progressive. Yes, that's progressive. Take a look at what it says here. We have context. She hasn't left his side, which means she's still with him, right? So that's great. Now let's go back. Let's go to this next slide. And I want you to, these are the same sentences, but I want you to tell me, like, complete them with the form in the progressive. I mean, in the present perfect, depending present perfect simple or present perfect progressive. So let's complete the sentences. Number one, we what?
Have been celebrating.
Right. So we have been celebrating Chinese New Year week, meaning that they are still celebrating now, right? Now, no recuerdo quién fue quien dijo que podría hacerse también con el presente perfecto simple. Yes, but remember again, the action or the idea will be a little different, right? We have celebrated Chinese New Year all week, but in this case, the action is over. It's not happening now. Right, number two.
I have seen.
All right, I have seen.
Seen.
I have seen 2 dragon parades so far this week. Good. How about number 3?
Have been eating.
All right, my brother has been eating. But remember that we said that it could be both, right? So my brother have been eating, or my brother has eaten, all right? My brother has been eating, or my brother has eaten a lot of candies during New Year. Number 4.
He has felt ill.
All right, he has felt ill all day today. Now, as we say all day today, mostly the action is still happening, right? So I would say progressive. But you can use both anyways, right? But I would say like it's better to use the progressive form here because the action is still happening or the day hasn't finished. Now, 5.
He has been sick since this morning.
All right, good. He has
Present
been
perfect.
sick since this morning. Great. And how about this? 6. My mother.
Has been taken care of.
Great. Has been taking care of my brother. Today, she hasn't left his side. So guys, is this topic clear? Like, was it difficult? Was it hard? I think it was an easy topic, but is it clear for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. So this is it, guys. This is the end of this part. So an easy topic. Now that we have finished, let's go to practice a little bit. Let's go to practice a little bit in the book. So let's go to the book, right? Here we have the book one more time. And now I'm going to read these sentences here, the ones we have in exercise 6, and you are going to tell me like if the sentences are present perfect continuous or present perfect simple, all right? So we have the first one. Martina's been playing tennis since she was 3 years old. Continuous or simple?
Continuous.
All right, great. Is now here another question for you. Is Martina still playing tennis or she doesn't play tennis anymore?
She's still playing tennis.
All right,
She
great.
is still playing.
Now B. Anya's been going to ballet lessons since she was a child.
Continuous.
All right, and is she still going to ballet lesson?
Yes.
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 Great. Now I have known Max for years.
Present perfect. Simple.
Present perfect simple. Great. Present perfect simple. And do you know, I mean, like, are you still like in this moment, do you know Max or you already know Max?
You already know, Max.
All right, great. You already did this action because the action of knowing is over. Now, D, how long have you been studying French? Is that
Continuous.
Great.
Continuous.
And now, is the person still studying French or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, E, he's always enjoyed playing sports? Simple or continuous?
Simple.
Simple. And the action of enjoy it, is it still happening now or no?
No,
No, right? This is just an action that
because it's
ended.
present perfect simple.
All right, great. That was very good, guys. So now let's go over this part right here. Let's complete. Take a look at what it says. Number 7, complete the sentences with the present perfect simple or continuous form of the verb in parentheses. And any other information you need. So here we have the blanks, and here we have the periods that tells you that you can add any extra information that you want. All right, so let's do it and try to complete it with the present perfect simple or the present perfect continuous. So let's start. Number 1, I
have been studying German for years, but I still find the grammar difficult.
All right, but you need to complete this. I have been studying German for 5 years, by for 5 years, right? But I still need to
find the grammar difficult.
find, but I still find the grammar difficult. All right, good. How about number 2? I
Have learned.
I have learned Arabic for 2 years. Okay, possible, why not? But if the action is still happening now,
I don't know.
then you have to say, I have been learning. So I guess here you can use both, but it depends more on the context. So I have learned Arabic for 2 years. If you do it like that, it means that the action is over. You already, you are not studying or you are not learning Arabic now, right? But if you say, but if you're still learning Arabic now, then you can say, I have been learning Arabic for 2 years, and you're still learning Arabic, right? So depending on the context, you can use both. Now, number 3, I
have
been living.
18 years old.
All right, I have lived on my own since I was 18 years old, or I have been living on my own since I was 18 years old. So yes, with the word live, with the word live, you can use both present perfect or present perfect continuous. I think it would be better if you use continuous, right? Because the action of living, like right now, you are living because you are not dead, right? So the verb itself, like live, tells you or has the intention of being progressive because we are still living right now, right? We're still alive. So you can use both, but it would be better if you use the continuous form. Now, number 4, I
have always loved art, but I'm not very good at it.
Great, right? That's simple version. 5,
I have had my own car since I was 10 years old.
Since. I have had my own car since I was, 15 years old, just to say something. Now, what happens here? As I said to you before, here I cannot use the present perfect progressive. Why? Because when I speak about have and I mean possession, there's no way I can use this in a continuous form, only in the simple form. So with the verb have, meaning possession, you cannot use this in the ing form. So it was good, miss.
Mister,
Yes, miss?
can you repeat those verbs?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to show you those verbs at the end, right? So don't worry, it's okay. I'm going to look for a special slide presentation that I have. It's not about the present perfect and the present perfect continuous. As I said before, this rule applies to all progressive tenses, not only for the present perfect progressive, but for all progressive tenses. All right, I will show you what those stative verbs are, and I will give you some, like, I'm going to show them to you so that you can write them. So don't worry, miss. I'll give it to you later on. Now, number 6, I
have always wanted to swim. Maybe I will learn one day.
All right, great, excellent. All right, again, present, perfect, simple. All right, here now we have this question prompts. I want you to make questions out of this branch right here. Remember that you can use present perfect continuous or present perfect simple, depending on the type of verb that you see. All right, and and depending on the situation. So let's go with the first one. How would it be? This question.
How long have you known your best friend?
All right. Can I say how long have you been knowing your best friend?
I don't think so, mister.
It sounds weird, right? It's strange.
Yes.
Actually, it makes no sense. So yes, you're right. It's not possible. So how long have you known your best friend? Good. Number 2.
How long have you been doing your hobby?
All right, great. How long have you been doing your hobby? In this case, well, hobby might be any action. So yeah, it might be happening. It can still happening now, right? Now, what about number 3? How long?
How long have you had that phone?
Great. All right, very good. 4.
How long
Have you been living in this city?
All right, good. But remember that you have the other version. How long have you lived in this city? You can also use it, right? Good. Number 5.
How have you been spending your days off recently?
Recently. All right, that's possible, miss. That is possible. But you can also use how have you spent your days off recently? So you can use both, right? You can use both. So that's great. Let's see what are the answers of the book. So take a look. How long have you known? Bien. How long have you been doing or have you done? You have the 2 versions, right? How long have you had? Only 1 version. How long have you lived or have you been living? 2 versions. And here 2 versions too. Take a look. Have you spent or been spending? So you can use both versions right here. Again, this depends more on the situations. Like the situation is going to tell you exactly what to do. All right, let's work here on this vocabulary, these 2, well, actually this, number 9, because number 9B is going to be homework for you, all right? This part right here is going to be homework for you. So let's begin with here, phrasal verbs. Now, before going on this, I'm going to show you something. Where is it? Let me see. All right, here it is. I don't know if you can see it very well, but can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, these are the copies that I gave you. Remember that I told you that I would scan them, to show you how they work. Yeah, these are phrasal verbs. As you can see, take a look at this phrasal verb. It has nothing, right? The die down. It means that this is just an expression that always go together, right? You don't need to separate it or any of those. So remember that for phrasal verbs, we have 2 types. We have separable phrasal verbs and inseparable phrasal verbs, right? So take a look at what we have right here. Take a look at this one. Disagree with. Is disagree with a separable phrasal verb? No. Why not? Because right in the middle between the verb and the particle, I don't have anything, right? But take a look at the symbol I have here. This is a plus symbol, right? Una cosa así, un símbolo de más. Eso quiere decir que es un verbo transitivo porque puede llevar un objeto, right? En el caso de do over, lo mismo pasa con do away with. Miren, no se puede separar, es de 3 partículas. Y tiene el verbo más después, el símbolo más después de with. Eso quiere decir que no es separable y se le puede colocar un objeto. Now here, take a look at this one. Do over. Do over. significa repetir. ¿Qué pueden ver aquí? Entre el verbo do y la partícula over hay un pequeño símbolo. ¿Sí lo ven? En sus fotocopias es como un asterisco. Aquí se ve más como un punto. Ajá, no se ve muy bien. Pero es más como un asterisco. ¿Qué significa que esté en este asterisco entre el verbo y la preposición? Significa que el verbo es separable. Y si aparte de eso, el verbo tiene, aparte de ser separable, el verbo tiene un símbolo más, significa que el verbo es separable y se le puede colocar un objeto. Por lo tanto, es un verbo separable transitivo. Right? Entonces, eso es todo lo que tienen que saber aquí. Si se dan cuenta que muchos de estos phrasal verbs, right? Aquellos que no tienen ningún símbolo significa que siempre van juntos, right? Que son completamente inseparables todo el tiempo y que no llevan ninguna clase de objeto, es decir, que son verbos intransitivos. Por ejemplo, aquí tenemos en el caso de drop over, significa visitar a alguien por casualidad, right? So, drop over anytime you feel like talking. Como puedes visitarme cada vez que quieras hablar. So, drop over, si se dan cuenta, no tiene objeto. Esto ya es una oración diferente, complemento, right? Por aquí vamos a ver si de pronto tenemos otro. Take a look. Drop out. Drop out significa dejar una organización. Es decir, por ejemplo, si ustedes dejan la universidad a media, si no la terminan, eso quiere decir, pues ustedes drop out, right? Take a look. Jurien is on the team, isn't on the team anymore. He dropped out. Si se dan cuenta, no tiene un objeto, por lo tanto, es un verbo intransitivo, right? Y, pues, no es separable porque siempre va a ir unido. Entonces, eso es lo que tienen que tener en cuenta en estas diapositivas que ustedes tienen aquí. Ahora, van a encontrar otras clases de verbos como, por ejemplo, aquí tenemos un ejemplo. Turn in, si se dan cuenta, si pueden verlo. Turn in, turn in. Turn in, separable, y turn in, inseparable. Pero ambos son verbos intransitivos. Aunque este separable no lleva un... Bueno, sí, este debería tener un máster, si no estoy mal. Alright. Puede decir turn in the documents. Why not? Y turn in, que significaría go to bed. Este sí no es transitivo. Entonces, por ejemplo, submit. You need to turn your essay in. Este es transitivo. Aquí hay que colocarle un más. De pronto esté allí o no sé, no se ve muy bien. You need to turn in your essay. Tienes que entregar tu ensayo, right? Y here, it's getting late. I think it's about time to turn in. Turn in significa ir a la cama, right? Pero como verbo intransitivo. Y verbo no separable. Pero turn in como separable y transitivo significa entregar algo, right? O incluso no solamente entregar algo, sino también puede significar... bueno, en el caso de entregar, pero más como, digamos que hay un criminal y ustedes lo entregan a la policía, a las autoridades, right? Eso también es turn someone in, pero en el caso de una persona. So, eso es lo que quería mostrarles, chicos, para que ustedes supieran cómo usar estas fotocopias. Pues si se dan cuenta, nada más hay dos clases de símbolos, entonces está el asterisco y está el símbolo de más. All right? Now, volviendo al libro, tenemos un ejemplo o ejercicio de phrasal verbs. Aquí lo que tienen que hacer es, tenemos un verbo y ustedes van a escoger la preposición, all right? La correcta. So, let's start. Number 1. I don't have a lot in common. 2. With or for my sister? With my sister. Good. Good. 2. We don't have access with, at, or to the internet at work.
To the internet.
Great. She's world class in, for, or at playing the violin.
At.
Great. Great. 4. He works very hard. He puts into with a lot of hours.
In.
In. Put in significa trabajar, pero de manera bastante informal. Eso sería como todo lo que diríamos nosotros acá, camellar o... Sí, maybe that, right? So 5. I have a lot to think with, for, or about at the moment.
About.
Great. The movie picks up on, to, or at the difficulties people experienced during the war.
On.
on. Pick up on significa mencionar, right? En este caso menciona las dificultades. And the last one, she has a talent about, for, or in finding a bargain. For. Great. Very good, people. You're excellent. Right over this way. So here, take a look. We have a vocabulary for ability, right? For ability. So before going on this vocabulary of ability, I want you guys to go to page number 82. No, I'm sorry. This is page number 84. Page number 84 is, let me see, let me take it out here. Passability, here is. We have the second topic for today, which is actually present and past abilities. Now, when we speak about ability, let me ask you a question, guys. What do you think? What is the first thing that comes up in your mind when we say the word ability? What is the first? Miss Nayeli, repeat again, please.
Something you can do easily.
All right, something you can do easily. You said the right word. The right word is can. Remember that we use the modal verb can to express ability, right? But ability in the present. How do I express, or how do I do to express ability in the past? I use could, right? So we have two things. We have can and we have could, right? So for the present, I use can, and for the past, I use could, right? So this is how we do it here, right? This is how we do it here. For present abilities, we use can, and for past abilities, we use could, right? Great. So far, so good. But today, I am going to show you like different expressions or different words to express abilities. Not only can, not only could, that are the ones that we normally use, but we are going to, well, actually, I'm going to show you some others. So let's begin right here. This is, let's see, from the letters. Letter A, I am going to read, and you're going to tell me the following. You're going to tell me which or what is the word that expresses ability, and what, and if the ability or the word is for a present ability or a past ability. All right. So let's. The first one is already done, but let's read it anyways. So if I tell Daniel your birthday, your birth date, you can. I mean, he can tell you what day of the week you were born on. Present ability, because we're using can, the normal word for talking about abilities, right? Now, B, he could see a building just once and remember everything about it.
Past ability.
Past ability. And which is the word that shows that past ability?
Could.
Could. Good, right? So these two examples here are the normal examples that we use, most of the time, right? Can and could. Get from present, could for the past. Great. Let's continue with letter C. As a child, he couldn't make friends.
Past ability.
All right. But this is in negative, right? This is in negative.
Yes.
Which means we have two types. We have abilities and disabilities, right? In this case, this is more. Is this an ability? Like not making friends, is that an ability?
No.
All right, this is more a disability, like something you
disability.
Cannot do. All right, go ahead. But it's still showing like kind of a kind of ability in the past, right? Good. How about letter D? He is able to do extremely difficult calculations.
Able to.
Be able to, right? Is able to. And Miss, is that present or past ability?
Present.
All right, present ability. Good. How about letter E? He was able to calculate 82 times 82 times 82 times 82, right?
Past
So,
ability. With
past.
able.
All right. With, was, or were able to.
Able.
Don't forget that this is a complete phrase, right? Be able to. It's always like that. So don't miss out the to, please. Here, F. He wasn't able to sit still.
Wasn't able to. Past ability negative.
All right, great, right? Negative, so more like disability. Good. G. He always manages to throw everything in the right place.
Manage.
Manage to, right? In this case, he manages to. And this is present ability or past ability?
Present.
Present ability. Good. How about here? He managed to learn Icelandic in a week.
Manage. Past
right.
ability.
Great. And how about here? He didn't manage to pass his final exam.
Didn't manage to.
Didn't manage and past ability.
Great, right? So, which are those verbs and those expressions that we use different from can and could? They are be able to and manage to. Now, be able to can be used in the present and in the past, and manage to can be used in the present and in the past. So you can have, you can use not only can, not only could, but also be able to and manage to express ability. All right? Is this clear?
Yes.
All right. But now I'm going to show you, these are verbs that show ability. Now let's speak about some expressions that we can use to speak about abilities or to show about abilities, to show abilities and disabilities. Something similar to this, but not exactly verbs, but expressions. So let's get down to them. And please, guys, go to page number 83. Page number 83. So let's go back to, go back one page. So, all right, as you can see right here, we have this, let's put it here. Okay, we have here this exercise number 2. The expressions that are in bold, que están en negrilla, right, are the ones that we are going to use, like other expressions or other ways we can use to refer to abilities, right? So take a look, abilities and disabilities. Then I'm going to read it and you're going to tell me if it tells you, if that is an ability or a disability. If it can and also if it can be used in the present or in the past, all right? Now let's get down to the first one. A, he is an expert in Italian art. He's written several books about it.
Ability.
All right, ability, good. And this is present or past?
Present.
All right, present. And can I make it past? Or I cannot? Like, all right, yes. Can I say he was an expert in Italian art? Can I say that or not? What do you think, guys? Can I say that or not? Yes, you can say that, guys, right? So here in this example, we have ability in the present, but if you want to use it for the past, you can also use it, but changing the normal verb. What is the normal verb? The verb be, right? Be an expert in. Letter B. He's gifted at painting. He had his first show when he was 16. Gifted.
Ability.
Ability. What is the meaning of being gifted? Esto es como tener un don, right? Como nacer con aquella habilidad para hacer algo. That's what it means, right? Ser dotado en algo. There you are. Be gifted at something. That is an ability. In the present, right? Now, can I use it in the past? Can I say he was gifted at painting? Guys? Guys? Can I use this one in the past? Can I or I cannot?
I'm not sure.
Well, to be honest, it's like if you use it in the past, it's weird because when you are gifted, I mean, you can do anything with no effort, right? You can do it easily because you're so good at that, right? You don't need to practice, you don't need to learn that, right? You just do it and that's it. So, like using this in past means that you forgot that talent that you had. I mean, that is like weird, right? Because when you have a talent, you don't, I mean, you just don't forget it. You still have the talent and you still do it till you are, I mean, you know, for a lot of time. So this one, I wouldn't say you could use it in the past, right? Only for the present. C, she has a lot of ability as a dancer.
Ability.
Ability in the present. Can I use it in the past?
Yes.
Yes.
Why not, right? She had a lot of ability as a dancer. Now, D, she's the most skillful, skillful soccer player I've ever seen. Skillful. Ability in the present, right? Can I use it in the past? Like she was the most skillful player?
Yes.
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 Can use it. And what is the meaning of a skillful? Could you tell me? What does a skillful mean?
Like habilidosa, como
Talentoso. So it would
talentosa.
it could be a synonym to this one, right? Talented. But first, let's go to letter E. He has an aptitude for math.
Ability.
Ability. Can I use it in the past?
Yes.
Yes. Again. All right. He had an attitude for math. Good. F. He is a really talented musician.
Ability.
All right. Ability. Where? In the past or in the present?
Present.
Okay. And can I use it in the past? Like he was very talented. He was a very talented musician.
Yes.
Yes, right? Maybe the person died. Maybe the person died, right? And now you were speaking about the person and you were saying that he was a very talented person, right? Good. How about G? I am hopeless at geography.
Disability.
Disability. In the present or in the past?
The present.
Can I use it in the past?
Yes.
Yes, again, right? And what is the meaning of being hopeless at? What is that? Being hopeless.
Sin esperanza.
Como sin esperanza, inútil, all right? En algo. Good. And how about H? I'm useless at sports.
Disability.
Disability. In the present or in the past?
In the present.
Great. Can I use it in the past?
Yes.
Yes. And what does useless mean?
Sin uso. Inútil.
Inútil también, ¿cierto? Estos dos son sinónimos. So take a look. Ambos. Aquí tenemos una serie, right? We have several types of words and expressions that we can use to refer to ability, right? And we can use them in the past and in the present, no matter what, right? So guys, now you have a lot of different ways of expressing ability. Not only can, not only could. You have be an expert at, be gifted at, have a lot of ability as, be skillful, have an aptitude for, be talented, be hopeless, be useless, be able to, and manage to. So we have a lot, right? We have many words and expressions to express abilities and disabilities different from can and could. Is that clear, guys? All right. Do you have any question on this topic? Like, this is a very easy topic, but do you have any questions?
No, mister.
All right. Great. Now, guys, if you have no questions, I think this is the end of today's class, right? Of today's topic. So that was it, guys. Very good.